Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with another Manny chat. Happy Easter Sunday. It is time to put on a spring Easter set, which if you are part of Stacy Adams' Facebook group, you will be likely doing the spring and summer sassy bingo right now. And this is the square that I want to fulfill. So wear an Easter spring set. And I want to keep it simple because it's already Easter Sunday and I don't know how long I'll keep this Manny on until moving on to my next Manny, which will be for my family vacation. So let's get started. What has happened since removing Hint of Mint and Make My Daisy? So I really actually liked that mixed Manny a lot because the Hint of Mint by itself really looked nicely underneath the Make My Daisy overlay, and it lasted pretty long, so I enjoyed that one. Didn't even have to do a transition Manny. But since that mixed Manny had a full work week, manager's dinner on Friday, which was really nice to enjoy a good meal in good company. And then the weekend has been super rainy here in California, so really haven't done very much. But we are going to go see Carla and the kiddos, my sister-in-law Carla and her kids, for a little bit. So I wanted to make sure I had my nails done before then. So yeah, here we are. But it was a very lazy Saturday because the rain really made it so that we didn't really want to get out of bed. But Panda Bear and I did end up going to go work out, which was awesome because after all the eating from the manager's dinner, I needed a good workout. And then we got sandwiches from Claro's, which is this Italian deli that is in the local area. And I found, well, Panda Bear actually helped me find a sandwich that was as close as it could get to a sandwich that I really enjoyed a lot as a high schooler. So when I went to high school, there was this sandwich cart that was around during like the break time between classes, and the lady had called them po' boys, but I understand now that po' boy sandwiches are more the fried shrimp sandwiches that you see in places like New Orleans and stuff like that. So anyways, in that sandwich is really basic stuff: ham, American cheese, shredded lettuce, tomato, onion, and I'm pretty sure it was just mayo. So at Claro's, they have specific sandwiches that are pre-made, like, or I shouldn't say pre-made because they're not pre-made, but they're, you know, on the board, on the menu for you to order. But you can also customize your sandwich. And so Panda Bear was like, you should just customize your sandwich. So he's done this for me once before, and it tasted the most like the sandwich I remembered in high school, and really just fulfilled my need of nostalgia. So we got that for me yesterday too. And then couldn't decide on what to do about dinner because originally we were going to go see Carla and the kids on Saturday, which is our normal day to go see them, but they were going to have guests over, so we decided we'll just save it for Easter Sunday. So here we are. But because my mom and pops hadn't thought of us being home for dinner, my mom had something planned for her and my pops. That's not really my favorite stuff. but it's one of their favorites. So we were like, just do what you were gonna do. Like, Panda Bear and I are adults. We can fend for ourselves. So I ended up using my Instant Pot to make the 555 hard-boiled eggs. 5 minutes of high pressure in the Instant Pot, 5 minutes of natural release time, wait time, and 5 minutes in an ice bath. Best and most easiest way to make hard-boiled eggs, I tell you. And then I made Pressure Luck Cooking is a website by Jeff, and I forgot Jeff's last name. Jeffrey Eisner? Jeffrey. Well, anyways, his Casio y Pepe noodles, we had all the ingredients at home to make it, so I decided, let's do that. Super easy and really tasty. So that's what Panda Bear and I had for dinner last night while we watched Roadhouse, the original Roadhouse. So Panda Bear had shown me the week before the new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and I thought it was pretty dumb. Like, I mean, it was entertaining, but it was not really, there was no heart and soul in the story. So Panda Bear showed me the original Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott, which I didn't even know who that actor was. I mean, after he showed me pictures of, you know, other movies that he's been in, I'm like, oh, okay. But Panda Bear thought it was funny that I didn't know who Sam Elliott was. But yeah, the original Roadhouse, way better. Much more heart and soul to the movie. And yeah, even though it still was kind of cheesy, and I'm not good with violence, so, you know, some of the best scenes are, you know, violent scenes that I just couldn't bear to watch. And I get it. Like, if people like violent movies, they'll enjoy this. A lot of nudity in it too, which, you know, that's what the times were like way back when in the 80s. So yeah, but good movie, good company. Very nice way to spend a rainy Saturday with Panda Bear. Alright, so let me just make sure I have the right nails I want to do. I think I wanted to... We've got... Yeah, I'm going to do my middle finger with the little flower here. And then we're going to do... probably the pointer finger with a white, and then the plaid on the thumb and the ring finger. The one bad thing about using one set by itself, as far as a mixed mani all on its own, is that sometimes the way that they made the sets don't really fit with what we're trying to do with the fingers. And actually, I think I might actually use this one on the pointer finger. I just feel like the mix itself would just look better on the pointer finger here. And do I even want a white one? I can probably get away with using 3 with the flowers. Because my nails are pretty short right now. Yeah, I could do 3 with the flowers and 2 with the plaid. Just because my nails are so short. It works. Okay. But yeah, I also finished listening to Kevin Kwan's Sex and Vanity. I was originally reading the ebook, but then the audiobook, when I was halfway through the book, became available on my library app. And so I ended up listening to the last half of the book, which I really enjoy because the person reading the book, Lydia Look, does a really great job of like doing different voices and the accents and stuff like that. So it's a fun listen. So I don't know if any of you all that are watching uses your library app to, you know, borrow audiobooks to listen to and stuff like that, but I would recommend Kevin Kwan books. If you like the whole Crazy Rich Asians, the whole trilogy of that series, and then Sex and Vanity, and there's mention of characters from the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy within Sex and Vanity, so it's kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of Heather Wardell, the Canadian author that I love, like reading her books when she comes out with books, because she kind of ties in characters from other books of hers into her books. So it feels like they're talking about like real people that are living in the same area, or at least living similar lifestyles and circles within the same social circles. So that's super fun, in my opinion. But yeah, okay. So I am going to make a nail stick out of Pastel Me About It. And I don't know if I want to do it with the flowers or the plaid, because which one represents Pastel Me About It more? The flowers or the plaid? I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell just by looking at it. I think at the end of the day, though, it probably will use the flower. But yeah. The flower is actually what reminds me very much of spring. But the plaid, for some reason, reminds me very much of Easter. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't really celebrate Easter that much besides with the kids. Usually with like egg hunts, or I wanted to dye eggs with them this year, which we're probably still going to do, but likely after the family, like when we return from the family vacation. But yeah. So now that I'm done with the Kevin Kwan books, I am finishing listening to the second book in the School for Good and Evil. And I can't pronounce the name of the author. But yeah, if you look up School for Good and Evil, you'll be able to easily find the books. So I'm listening to the second one right now. Almost done with it, actually. I think I'm maybe less than 2 hours away from finishing that. And that's a big series too, so that there's another book following that. And I found out that Bridgerton is going to be released, Bridgerton Season 3 on Netflix in May. So I'm debating, do I re-listen to all of the books, the audiobooks, or do I re-watch Seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix, or do I do both? I don't know. But easier for me to re-listen to the books during my lunch breaks at work, while walking on the treadmill. Walking is walking and jogging. Shout out to one of my favorite comedians, Cristela Alonzo, who coined that term, at least from what I've seen, coined that term, wogging, which is what I tend to do when I'm on the treadmill. So not just walking, but sometimes jogging. So a mix of both. But yeah. That is so delicate and pretty. Okay, let's see. Could we possibly fit this one? We probably could. Let's do it. Let's try it. Sometimes these are really tiny, so my nail beds are a little wider than some of the strips, but this one's so light and delicate that it's likely that you won't be able to tell very much, I want to say. And I can stretch it out just a little bit. So I did my toes for a new spring pedicure, and I attempted to use Spring Picnic, which is another kind of plaid set, except that it was such an old set, and because I live in Southern California, the weather's kind of humid, don't have central air in the house, so some of my sets end up getting really melty to the point where they're stuck on the plastic, which totally sucks, but it happens. And so Spring Picnic was definitely not easy to work with. So I ended up throwing, I think it was Belgian Buttercup was the yellow set that I had leftovers of. I threw that one of them on my big toe because the Spring Picnic set, none of the biggest strips were salvageable. But some of the smaller strips, the plaid smaller strips, were salvageable for my other toes, except that the colors are so pastel and delicate that on the toes they don't really translate well. So I covered all of them with favorite flannel, and so that favorite flannel overlay is of course black and really stands out a lot, so it's very striking looking. So of course I'll post a photo in my Facebook group, Wendy's Nail Fee Studio, and then maybe take a vote as to, do I keep my toes that way when I go on my family vacation, or do I do something more spring-like? So yeah, I'll probably post a photo and poll the group on what I should do, because I do still have a little less than a week to decide if I want to redo my toes for the family vacation. But for the most part, I don't think my toes are going to be shown very often anyway, because we're going to be doing a lot of hiking, so I'm not going to be wearing like flip-flops or anything like that while hiking. So yeah, it might just be that I just leave them. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But I am looking very much forward to spending some time with my nieces and nephews. And time with my brother's family and my sister's family, which we don't get to see that often, so it'll be nice. Alright, so I'm using the second to last size strip for my thumbs because, again, this color is so delicate that I feel like it's not going to stand out that much. And I'm wondering now, I'm like, shoot, maybe I should have just used this set on my toes too. I guess that's an option to poll the folks that are in my Facebook group, whether I should do that. But I don't know. We shall see. And then I do want to make more bread today after coming back from my sister-in-law's house, so I should probably ready the ingredients. But anywho, oh, and the sad thing is, if you watched my last episode, my last video, my sourdough starter did not quite make it. I think the weather here in California is not quite warm enough yet for me to make that sourdough starter because it started growing some weird looking layer that was reminiscent of mold, which is so gross. So definitely did not feel like that was safe to consume. Plus I did the float test and it wasn't floating, so it was not alive enough yet to do its job in making sourdough bread. So I scrapped the whole thing and we'll try again when the weather gets warmer here in California. But it was kind of a bummer. We were hoping that I would have it ready for making sourdough bread this weekend, and obviously not. That's not happening. But I can still make normal white bread, which is what I will do. So yeah. But here we are. This is Pastel Me About It. I think it looks beautiful. Yep. So if you have watched this all the way through to the end here, feel free to leave a comment if you want to leave a comment. If you can't think of anything to leave a comment about, you can simply add a purple and pink heart. Purple and pink heart. And I'll know that you watched it to the end. And here's my nail stick for Pastel Me About It. So pretty. These little flowers. It reminds me of one of the overlay sets with color. Anyways, that is all. I hope you guys have a happy Easter, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.